Beyond Yourself example, Al Khan, who's a full-time MBA alum from 1989. He's the Executive Director of Charter Schools Partners in Minneapolis, and he's going to speak to us about reinventing public education choice and quality for all children.
So let me start by asking, how many of you have actually been to Minneapolis in the winter? It was snowing yesterday, 7 inches, so I think I'm really happy to be out here, not just because of the weather, but because it's been great to be out here with all my classmates and this great institution. I have a lot to be thankful for from Haas. I had the opportunity to take classes from Dr. Acker and a number of the great professors, and because of the marketing classes and the branding classes, I had a chance to work at General Mills. And General Mills is one of those premier marketing organizations located in Minneapolis. And as a marketing company, they're really good at selling. And so they really gave me quite a story about why we should move back to the Twin Cities and start our family here. And they talked a lot about the business culture. You know, there's some great companies there. There's Target, Best Buy, 3M, Mayo Clinic, and there's wonderful lakes and trails, green space. So, you know, it's just really a great place to start my life. And I just wanted to get out there so badly until they told me that the interview was in January. So, you know, after I got my third pair of underwear, I also had to figure out how to get to work. And that's a whole new experience as well. And so, to add insult to injury, this is not a lie, right? The Cal Alumni Association in Minneapolis is literally called the I've had a great career there. I've really enjoyed it. I spent 16 years at General Mills, learning a lot, growing. I have a beautiful wife. I have a fantastic family. It's just really exciting, you know, that I spent all that time. But along the way, something was missing for me, and I felt like it was, you know, it was not going to happen in the corporate world. I felt like it was time to give back to the community. And there was really a seminal moment that changed my world and my thinking about this. There was a documentary that came out about 5 years ago called Waiting for Superman. If you've never heard, you should. It's a story about Jeffrey Canada and the work he's doing in the Harlem Children's Zone. And it talks about the achievement gap between the white kids and the children of color. And they talk a lot about these schools in the urban city that are failing our children, right? And they call them dropout factories. And these are the schools in the communities that are serving kids the most at need. These are typically low-income families, typically children of color. And they're not working. It's just not serving the kids well. But it's not just a story of hopelessness. It's also a story of hope. Because they really, in this Waiting for Superman, they talk a lot about the school models that are actually working. And if you've never seen or heard some of these names, you should. These are charter schools models that are doing this work. They're actually serving the same kids that these dropout factories are failing, and they're doing a fantastic job. So this really helped catalyze my thinking about what I want to do my second half of my life, and it gave me the opportunity to come to Minneapolis and do this work in the city. And the first thing I did is I did my own 2x2, right? That's what we do at Haas. So my 2x2 was a scatter plot of the performance of charter schools in Minneapolis. And you don't need to look at the detail, but basically the schools in the upper right are the schools that are really doing a great job. They're really having a high impact on the students. Unfortunately, there's not very many of them. And also, unfortunately, there are just a lot of charter schools in the bottom left quadrant, which are the low impact schools. So there's a huge opportunity. What's even more disappointing and disconcerting, I guess, is when we did the same analysis for the district schools. You know, it's actually worse. And it really points to the fact that the system is broken and it's time to do something different. So, in the spirit of questioning the status quo, I'm literally trying to reinvent public education in Minneapolis. And the way we're doing this is by focusing on two things. We know what works now. We've seen those models. They're working. They've had 20 years to perfect themselves, so we know what works. The second thing we're doing is we're focusing on what I call a school-based change, theory of change. And really what a school-based theory of change is saying, we've got to stop thinking about the silver bullet. We've got to stop thinking about programs to fix our schools. Programs like mentoring, tutoring, summer programs, they're all good, but we've got to stop putting Band-Aids on the problem and thinking that the Band-Aids are going to fix the problem. So we believe in a theory of change that focuses on the entire school as that unit of change, and it's all about Jim Collins moving good schools to great, starting up new schools, taking a page out of the business playbook and bringing innovation into the public sector, innovating and creating new school models that are going to keep putting pressure on the system, finding the schools that work and replicating them and scaling them. But really, the hardest thing we have to do is getting rid of the things that don't work. And that is a challenge for all of us. But this is really the school-based theory of change. And, at the end of the day, we are trying to reinvent public education. We are doing this guided by one overarching belief. And that belief, quite simply, is all kids can learn. We really believe all kids can learn. Every child deserves a great education, no matter what, no matter the color of their skin, the income, or the zip code they live in. I think we've learned and are fundamentally focused on serving these kids, and we just don't think demography should become destiny any longer. Thank you.